Hi. So some of the things that I'm about to say may be random. That's because I just thought about them because I was reflecting on myself and reflecting on the things that I wish I'd known from moving from a technical background, engineering to commercial world. Because even though the skill sets may be the same, even though they are transferable skills from technical to commercial or commercial to technical, but the environments are different. And these are like seven things that I wish that maybe someone told me that I wish that I know. The first thing is when you go into a room or you walk into a meeting, whether it's your meeting or someone else invites you to the meeting or it's a strategy session, first thing that I think that you should have at the back of your mind is that nobody else in that room know your work more than you do. And this comes from consistent performance. It comes from knowing your data, and it also comes from knowing your stuff, right? So when it comes to your domain, just have it in mind that nobody else is smarter than you, and nobody else, knows your work more than you do. So have that confidence. And the truth is that people see these things. So when you don't have the confidence, even if you are saying the right thing, if you don't show that confidence level, people see through it. So it's always very good that you have that confidence and know that you know your stuff. So the second thing is that the workplace is like, think about it as like a marketplace. Everybody comes there for different purposes. And when everybody's done, each person is going to leave at different times. So when your boss gives you some feedback or when someone else does something, never ever take things personally. Like don't go home and lose your sleep over whatever happens at work, because it's work and it should stay at work. So for me, like, starting up, I always thought like this thing will follow me all through my life. And things that you just ordinary things that you would want to, like, get away from, but it just keeps, creeping into your mind. So don't ever take things personal. Workplace is like a marketplace. Everybody comes there at one time or the other, everybody's going to leave. So I think that the third one I'm going to be saying, people think that, or, especially in the commercial world, where it's like dog eats dog. Nobody needs to know that you didn't eat yesterday. So whatever you think that is personal to you, you keep it personal. Nobody needs to know. Sometimes your manager doesn't need to know. So do your work, except you've built that relationship outside of the work with your manager or some of your colleagues. But even again, keep personal things personal. And this fourth one is like it speaks to me so well, especially when I just started and coming out of school. Dress well and neat. Like, dress well and neat. I know sometimes we feel like, oh, I know my work speaks for me. But it's also very important that you dress well, because that's like the first impression that people see. So dress well and be very neat, very important, especially if you're in commercial role where it's people facing, it's clients facing. You're probably going to be meeting vendors, you're going to be meeting external stakeholders, and you're also going to be meeting top management. So you have to dress very well, and you also have to dress neat. So this 51 speaks more to junior employees, if you are entry level or you are mid level. I think that you should learn to say no, especially when it's not convenient and it's not comfortable. Some of the things that I did, if I have the opportunity to go back again, I'll most likely do them differently. I've worked with some managers that would schedule meeting for 11 p.m. And because that's when they have the time. 11 p.m., I was already almost about to sleep, but that's the time that this particular manager wants to discuss strategy, wants to review data, or wants to review business. And when things, went south, of course, nobody is going to be blamed except me. So if I had my way, I would have said no and, move the meeting to when work starts. So be very, sometimes it's very good to be opinionated, and sometimes it's also good to stand your ground. So if it's not convenient and it's not comfortable, find a way to say no. It's very important for you, and it's also going to uplift your career. Because if you accept a meeting that is not convenient for you, if something goes south, you're going to be blamed for it, and it's going to affect your scorecard. So sometimes it's always good to say no and learn to say no every time. So number 16 is always have a sponsor. So whichever organization where you find yourself, look for someone that your manager respects, and make sure that that person sees your work, and find a way to build a relationship with such people. So what it will do for you is that as you review your work with your manager, this other person have an idea of how well you are doing on your role. So even in some meetings where your manager is not invited to, this other person may be invited into those meetings, and they may be discussing who is going to be, assigned to some high value project, or who is going to be ready for promotion. This person can be able to chip in your work and also speak for you. So definitely there are some rooms where your manager will not be able to go to, but your sponsor may be invited to those rooms. It's also good sometimes when you're having issues with your manager, and which often happens a lot, in commercial environment. This your sponsor can also help you to speak to your manager, and maybe provide some perspective for you, and be able to make you see things in a different light. Sometimes your manager may be under pressure by their own managers, which you may not know. But this other person may be able to see it, and your sponsor will be able to help you transition and help you to overcome some of these barriers. And lastly, this is funny, but it's very true. No matter what happens at work, from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 7 to 8, no matter what happens at all, don't ever forget to eat. Either you take food from the house, or you take 1 hour break to go and eat. Don't ever forget to eat. Food is very important. So no matter what you are going through, or no matter what's happening with your business, with your brand, always find something to eat. You will need it. So these are 7 things that I wish that maybe I had known earlier. And I hope that someone somewhere finds it useful. Please share and follow me for more. Thank you.